Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans, and we have our Week 12 preview coming right up, as we got 4 games coming this week. We got one game that is happening today, as of when this video is coming out, the Thursday game, the Friday game, and 2 games on the Saturday. Rick, your Ticats are going to be off for the week.
Yes, and I thought you're going to bring something on the video today.
I am bringing something on the video. That's right. So, in honor of good friendship, I am wearing my Adam Bighill jersey today. The reason
Good
why
friendship,
is because I would like to extend a personal thank you to none other than Adam Bighill for gifting me this bobblehead. Yeah, that is right. This was sent to me by Adam Bighill. Firstly, thank you. And secondly, as a good friend of mine, his father is good friends with the Bighill family and whatnot, and so my buddy Jake, who is the former co-host on the channel near the start, you go back, you can see me and Jake running it, and he does Peg City Hockey. So yeah, his dad, good friends with the Bighill family and whatnot. Adam knows of the channel and stuff like that, and gifted one to Jake and gifted one to me. So this is going to join the great collection of Zach Caleros and Brady Oliveira on my little shelf here. So just wanted to extend the thank you to Mr. Adam Bighill. Thank you. So, Rick, shall we get into the first game of the week?
We shall.
All right. Can the Bombers beat a 4th-string fucking quarterback? That's the question for this week.
Hold on. Before we go into this week's game, call me crazy. When the season started, would you have thought Alexander, McLeod, Bethel Thompson, Evans, Morgan, Patterson, and Dukes would all be on one team by week 12?
We live in a society. That's crazy. No, it's one of those things where Montreal just can't keep their fucking quarterbacks healthy. They can't. So.
Well, if you were Toronto and Edmonton, you'd be pretty happy right now.
Yeah, because I was about to say, they don't have much of injury reports, do they? But anyways, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are the team away. May we get the injury report for Winnipeg?
Peyton Logan is questionable, but he's in the starting lineup.
For the first time this season, he's actually in the depth chart.
Hell has finally frozen over. Nick Hallett.
Nick Hallett?
It's funny because on the injury report it says head/eye. So is it a head injury or is it an eye injury or is it both?
Well, you know what it could be. Sometimes if it's something like that, I almost wonder if it's like his orbital bone, which is around your eye, part of your head, around your eye.
Oh.
Because if your orbital bone gets screwed up, it screws up your eyesight. If you ever want to know about a guy who had to deal with that, his name is Mark Calloway, a.k.a. The Undertaker. Really screwed it up, had to wear a mask for a portion. If you ever wonder why The Undertaker wore a mask for a small portion.
And then Mabel goes and lands on his face.
Yep, it's because he broke his orbital bone. That's why.
Maybe if he quits poking himself in the eye, he wouldn't have broken his orbital bone.
Yeah, that's the whole reason. Yeah, no other reason.
So, here's the funny thing. So, Dalton Schoen was full on Monday, but did not practice Tuesday.
But it does mean we are closer to a Dalton Schoen return.
Close, but no cigar. Michael Vanderpool, offensive line, questionable.
Yeah, but I see he was full practice Monday and Tuesday.
He's not on the injury.
He's not on the depth chart. No, I know. But I will say, I'm hoping that means that we get Vanderpool back for Labor Day then.
And there's no one on game time decision, so it's probably he won't be playing this week. Jamal Parker is out with a leg injury.
Yeah.
And Cam Lawson is D-line with a hip. but Lawson's playing.
But he's questionable. He is on the depth chart just behind Devin Adams.
So we'll go over to the Montreal ER, as I like to call it. Caban Ento, DB calf. He's available. And this is after Montreal only had 1 day of practice. Winnipeg had 2. Tyson Philpott limited out with a hamstring. James Letcher, wide receiver, hand limited out. Austin Mack, wide receiver, ankle, did not practice, out. Marc-Antoine Dequoy, DB, shoulder, limited, out. Justin Lawrence, offensive line, knee, did not practice, out. Sean Thomas Erlington, running back, neck, limited, available. Caleb Evans, knee, did not practice, out. Robert Kennedy, DB, hamstring, did not practice, out. Mustafa Johnson, D-line, knee, limited, out. Davis Alexander, QB, hamstring, limited, out. And Tyler Sneed, wide receiver, heel, limited, available.
It's not quite the Ottawa Red Blacks in terms of injury list, but it is a formidable opponent of injuries.
I will say though, it's not as long as Ottawa's, but there's more key players on Montreal than Ottawa's.
That's true. You got numerous starting backup third string quarterback all out, but then also Tyson Philpott and Austin Mack being on there. And even though Sean Thomas Erlington is available, he was limited in that last practice. And so that does show that he's playing, but is this going to be a Sean Thomas Erlington at 100%? Probably not.
Don't forget you also have Mustafa Johnson and Marc-Antoine Dequoy too.
I was about to say
Marc-Antoine who was your key on return.
Yeah. No, so Montreal's got a lot of key players out here. And Winnipeg's getting some guys back. Obviously, Peyton Logan in the lineup. Going to be playing his first game as a Bomber, which I think if you're the Bombers, this is going to be really key because Peyton Logan was a guy you brought in with the intention of this guy being your starting returner. Trey Vavel then goes on an absolute heater with one game, him recording 2 return touchdowns and him being an all-around great returner. Michael Krisyk, Quinton Cooley have tried being in that secondary role, as usually you have to have more than just one returner out in the field, at least for kickoff. I imagine Peyton Logan at bare minimum gets some of that. And so that's good. Having 2 formidable returners where each, no matter who gets the ball, is going to be a threat and they can't necessarily just kick it away from the guy who's really good is really, really key. I think the last time Winnipeg anything had something like that probably would have been Lucky Whitehead's last year in Winnipeg before he leaves for BC, where it was Lucky Whitehead in his prime with Janarian Grant to his left. And so Janarian Grant hadn't hit his prime, but was on the rise and was doing very well. Lucky Whitehead was very much in his prime. I remember the first game that first Bomber game I brought my mom to. Lucky Whitehead to start the game had a kickoff return touchdown on the very first play of the game. And so it was one hell of a thing to see. I think in Winnipeg we'll be very glad to have Peyton Logan in there, as now we'll have 2 formidable returners. But I want to deal with the Montreal side of things as well. I don't want to just talk Bombers because I know that's a trap I can fall into with me being a big Bomber fan. But a little bit about the Bombers. For Winnipeg, this is a must-win game. And what I mean by that is this is the last game before Labor Day weekend, before the home and home against Saskatchewan. You want to go into that 6-4. You don't want to go in 5-5. Because if you're Winnipeg, the goal out of Labor Day Banjo Bowl is to get the split. Win 1, lose 1. If you do that, that's good enough. You want to at least win one of those games. But with how good Saskatchewan has been, injuries or not, it's one of those things where you have to be prepared for the potential that you might drop both games. And so if you're Winnipeg, if you're 6-4, worst case scenario, you come out of Banjo Bowl 500. You don't want to come out below 500.
So here's what the next few weeks consists of. I'm going to compare Winnipeg with BC. So Winnipeg has Montreal, Sask, Hamilton, Ottawa. BC has Toronto, bye week, Ottawa, Calgary, then Toronto, and then you guys play us.
So much easier schedule for the Lions.
Yeah, so Montreal was on a 3-game losing streak, and then you figure they play you guys. They're on a bye week. They play us, Sask, then Toronto, then Calgary. So I don't want to say if Toronto, because then Toronto plays us after this week. I would say after they play us, if Toronto can beat Edmonton, Montreal, and then they play BC again. So Toronto has quite a hard schedule. Same with Ottawa.
Yeah.
So it's still quite possible that you guys can still make the playoffs with the crossover.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I think if you're Winnipeg, you want to make it in the West and have a home playoff game. But I think if you're Winnipeg, despite having the more difficult schedule between yourselves and the Lions, I mean, you won the season series against BC. You wanna have that spot.
The question I have for you, Carter, is since you're going to the Grey Cup this year, how would you feel if, hypothetically, I'm just throwing this idea out there because I seen it on Twitter the other day.
I feel like I know where you're going with this.
If Winnipeg was the road team, Sask was the home team, and they won on Winnipeg soil.
Winnipeg Sask Grey Cup, that would be a sight to see.
Banjo Bowl, Grey Cup, Labor Day, round 3. The deciding factor.
Hey, if it's the deciding factor, then that means you split the Banjo Bowl and Labor Day, so I'm okay with
that. So as far as pick'ems,
hell, what if Saskatchewan goes on a bender and they're the crossover? 8-game losing streak.
Listen,
hey, they did that last year.
I will say I'd rather play you guys in the East than Saskatchewan.
I mean, fair enough. They got one loss. I can't exactly blame you, even though I don't like Saskatchewan.
So Pick'em is a 9-1. Only Vicky Hall picked Montreal.
Is that what? Why would you pick Montreal? Who in their right mind?
Out of all the Pick'ems, I sent it to you on Discord. Out of all the Pick'ems, English and French, Vicky Hall's the only one that picked Montreal.
Yeah, no, that checks out. That's because Vicky Hall went on a bit of a bender, apparently, in her picks. Look at the rest of her picks. Like,
listen, I agree with two of them.
I agree with maybe one of them. Maybe two. One, maybe two. At least one. The other one, I'm not sure about. But
not the first two.
Yeah, not the first two. No, neither of those two. But I'm taking Winnipeg. You gotta. This is a must-win against Montreal.
As a Ticat fan, if you guys fucking lose to a James Morgan, there's something wrong.
You say there's something wrong if we lose. I would say there already is something wrong.
Because that's your fourth-string quarterback in Montreal that you guys are losing to.
Yeah. No, I'm aware of that. That's why this is a must-win game. Because if you don't, that's fucking embarrassing.
I'm hoping that you guys win too, and that you guys beat Montreal.
Yeah. Shall we get into the next one?
We shall.
Where the Ottawa Redblacks are at home.
Need to build their own firm.
Are going to be taking on the Edmonton Elks, and the Edmonton Elks, for the first time in a long time, have the opportunity to win 3 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time they went on a 3-game winning streak? I would actually, you know what? We're going to chat GPT that. You start on the injury report. I'm going to chat GPT that.
Okay, well, to answer your question.
Yeah.
The last 2 years they had losing seasons because they went on that 2-year hiatus of losing at home. I want to say, if I had to guess, pre-COVID.
You're saying pre-COVID?
My guess is pre-COVID. Okay, so for Edmonton, Joshua Shekel, linebacker, load management available. Kierce Jackson, wide receiver, non-football related, did not practice all week. He's out. So a long list of ER people going from Ottawa to the IR. So you have Drew Brown, quarterback knee, out. Devontae Dedman, kick return / running back, ankle, limited all week, out. Keelan White, wide receiver, ankle, limited, full, available. Braylon Addison, wide receiver, ribs, limited, did not practice, out. Samuel Carson, offensive line, foot, full, limited, questionable. Eric Zala, offensive line, head injury, limited, out. Chase McGowan, defensive line, groin, limited, out. Lucas Cormier, linebacker, quad, limited, out. Les Moreau, linebacker, knee, did not practice all week, out. Devarin Taylor, linebacker, hamstring, did not practice all week, out. Charlie Ringland, DB, hamstring, limited all week, out. Bennett Williams, DB, hamstring, did not practice all week, out. Elijah McGee, DB, ankle, full, available. Justin Howell, DB, hamstring, did not practice all week, out. Adrian Fry, DB, shoulder, limited all week, out. And Robert Priester, DB, head, limited, did not practice twice, and he's out.
So, Rick, I have an answer to your question. So your guess was when they're the Eskimos, right? Like before the name change, right?
I said pre-COVID.
Yeah, so that would have been as the Eskimos before the name change. Because they changed the name in 2020. Do you want to know the answer? You're not going to believe this. Me and you are very wrong. It was 2024. It was last year. They won week 9. They defeated the Riders 42-31. And their record after that was 1-7. They won the next week, week 10, as they beat the Lions 33-16. Their record then being 2-7. They then won a third week in a row, beating the Ticats 47-22, going to a 3-7 record. So they did actually string together 3 wins in a row last season. But then I decided to have fun with this, Rick. Because this was ChatGPT, and I confirmed this. I went on the CFL website. ChatGPT was right. They were not wrong about this. I checked the CFL website just to make sure. But then I asked, what about prior to 2024? And the answer was August 2018, which was more the answer I was expecting. So they've had 1 3-game winning streak as the Edmonton Elks. They have an opportunity to get their second 3-game winning streak as the Edmonton Elks this week against an Ottawa team that gave the Bombers a run for their money, but got pretty friggin' beat up in the process. And Edmonton's been riding high. They, in in week 10, they had a nice win against the Alouettes. They had then another victory against the Argonauts. And so if you're the Edmonton Elks, I think your goal is to try to claw your way back and try to catch the BC Lions. Hope that the Lions go on a bit of a bender, or the Bombers do maybe, and maybe see if you can slide into a crossover. I don't think the season is over for Edmonton if they get their stuff together, and but that means that games like these against teams that are either beaten up or weaker opponents or both are games that are must win. So I think the Edmonton Elks are going to go in and really try to get it done.
The only thing that I have a problem with that is if that's the case, that means that BC or Winnipeg, Calgary or Saskatchewan would have to miss the playoffs.
And that's the problem for Edmonton. But if you're Edmonton, you can't control what those other teams do. You can't control when they win, when they lose. If you're the Edmonton Elks, you can only control the games the Edmonton Elks are in. Edmonton needs to start winning Edmonton needs to start winning games, and then at that point, hoping that the guys they're going against get some losses. And at the end of the day, even if the Edmonton Elks finish last in the West, but they have a far more successful season and they get stuff going and stuff that they can build off for next year, that's worth it.
Question is, so Edmonton already has the tiebreaker against Ottawa.
Okay.
This year. So as of right now, Edmonton has the tiebreaker over Ottawa in the standings.
Yeah.
Because they've already beat them. So if this is going to be hard, because if you have Winnipeg beat Montreal, BC beats Toronto, Edmonton beats Ottawa, you're still basically where you are now. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
If you're Edmonton, you would need BC or Winnipeg to lose this week.
So, Rick,
if you have any chance.
What is the old Dutch pick'ems in the Edmonton?
The old Dutch pick'ems shows 2 people going with the Red Blacks.
One from the English team, one from the French team, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm going.
I'm going with Edmonton.
I'm going with Edmonton as well. I see Edmonton going on that 3-game winning streak. I think if the Red Blacks were at full health, I think I'd seriously consider Ottawa. But I think they're just a bit too beat up for me to go that far. So
when do they have? I'm curious.
So then, Rick, shall we get into the third game of the week?
Okay, at least Labor Day they have a bye, so at least they can heal up. For the
who does
home and home with BC? Ottawa.
Yeah, I don't think Ottawa usually plays Labor Day. I don't think they do.
They did last year, because I remember there being a game on the Saturday for our walk, and we went to a bar on the Saturday.
Because I guess them, BC, and Montreal each year just rotate not playing. Because Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, and Hamilton, Toronto always happens.
That's why we need a 10th team.
Yeah, that's the only reason, Rick.
But with that being said, we shall get on to
the BC Lions taking on the Toronto Argonauts.
The CNE Blue Rodeo game.
Oh.
So, have you ever been to the CNE in Toronto?
I have not. I've been to the PNE in BC.
Okay. Okay, so the CNE happens the last weekend of...
Let me guess, big festival, lots of rides, all sorts of shit.
Strange
stuff like that.
food.
Yep.
All that, like all the parking lot.
All that sort of stuff. Yep. Okay, so it's the same as the PNE, except in Toronto.
Yeah, so that's the CNE.
Is this the one where they had like the pistachio flavored ice cream, all that weird shit you showed me last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you wanna see us talking about stuff like that, you should check out our interview of BC Lions wide receiver Aiden Eberhardt as we go extensively into the weird foods.
Also, if you go on to X, I don't know if he wants me to tell you this, but look up. I think it's Nick underscore small, and he's already been there this year, and he shares like the different interesting foods. If you want to go take a look,
I don't think he'd
but
complain too much. You're getting them
also
Twitter
across
followers.
the street, probably a 5-minute walk from the Argos parking lot on Budweiser stage, after the game is Blue Rodeo.
Oh
So
yes.
apparently, if you bought certain seats, you get to go into the CNE for free. You get to go to Blue Rodeo and see a
Nice.
football game all in one day.
Look at
Mind you, I rather not go see Blue Rodeo, and I rather go to a bar and see Saskatchewan and Calgary
that.
play
Fair
than
enough.
or come home and watch it, one of the two.
So,
But this is Nathan Rourke's first appearance in the big Toronto
is it
of
really?
his career. Yeah, because last year it was Adams, because Rourke wasn't here,
Oh yeah.
and Rourke was spent the last 2 years either injured or not in the NFL,
Like not in the
and
CFL
then
or injured.
2022 was his first year in the CFL, and I don't believe. I'm just gonna quick fact check. I don't believe they played in Toronto that year. I know they played Toronto, but it wasn't in Toronto.
Mm.
Because this was the first year that Rourke played in Hamilton. So they played week 18 and 22, but it was Vernon Adams, not Nathan Rourke.
Hmm.
So this is the first time that. And do you remember what happened a couple years ago to BC in Toronto when Vernon Adams played?
What happened?
Vernon Adams threw 6 interceptions in one game.
Oh God, this was the disaster.
But Toronto also has a different defense these days than what they had
This is true.
back in 22 or whenever that was. Shall we get on to the injury report?
Injury report. Let's start with the Lions.
Adam McClare, linebacker, ankle, full limited. Jacob Bond, fullback, thigh, limited, full. Michael Couture, offensive line, hand, limited. Tybo DeBelly, defensive line, ankle, full. John Edwards Cooper, DB, knee, limited. Jermaine Jackson, wide receiver, wrist, full. Marcus Moore, defensive line, elbow, full. Maxime Royer, linebacker, thigh, did not practice, full. Tyler Packer, offensive line, head, limited, full. And then Corey Woodruff, offensive line, ankle, limited, full. And they still have Thursday to practice.
Yeah.
On to the Toronto side. DeMonte Coxey, head, did not practice Tuesday and Wednesday. Chance that he probably won't play unless he has a full on Thursday. Adam Gilliman, long snapper, head, did not practice both days. Ryan Hunter, shoulder, limited. So Ryan Hunter's coming back soon after getting hit by that car.
Yeah.
Chad Kelly's finally on here.
Oh.
Leg injury, limited. So that means if Chad Kelly does not play... Wait, hold on. Let me pull this up because I'm actually curious. Transactions. Let's go to Toronto. So Kelly was placed on the 6th game on the 26th of July. So that's 1, 2, 3. So he's only been on there for 3 weeks. My interesting question is, if he doesn't play this week,
Like, when does he eventually
and
come in?
no, so if he doesn't play this week, Toronto wins. I could see him maybe Labor Day or the week after. However, if Toronto loses in this must-win game, they're pretty much done for. Like, I don't see him coming back.
Even if they won out, they would have to basically win
if
every
they
game.
if they win, I could see him coming back. If they don't win,
Do you see them just keeping him sidelined and be like, just be ready next season?
yeah, because right now they have to win at least 3 games just to have the tiebreaker against the West.
Just at where? Well, it's not even that. They would have the tiebreaker against the West as of right now. That would be assuming Winnipeg and BC don't win a single one of their games in the next 3 weeks.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Technically, we don't have to worry about third. They just have to worry about fourth. So it's
exactly. I said Winnipeg and BC because Winnipeg and BC both have 5 wins.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said it.
Yeah.
Even though Winnipeg's technically ahead because they have 1 less loss, it's Winnipeg and BC with 5 wins. What I'm saying is Toronto, they would have to win 3 games, but it's not even just them winning 3 games. Because let's say they win 3 games, but BC and Winnipeg both get 2 wins each. Now Toronto still has to then win 2 more games on top of that. You know what I mean? It's not just like 3 wins and then, job's all done. It's 3 wins assuming worst case scenario.
Yeah. So Winton McManus, linebacker, tricep, did not practice Tuesday, was a full on Wednesday. Mark Milton, DB, load management, full. George Moore, offensive lineman, load management, full limited. Ryan, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Squavor, offensive lineman, load management, full. Jordan Williams, defensive line, shoulder, limited, full. And then Yan Williams, running back, head, limited, did not practice. But those are the injury reports.
So, Rick, how are you feeling about this then? In that case, how does this look for Toronto? Is this extremely grim, or is there any hope?
I mean, when you have receivers like BC does,
when you got a guy thrown.
If Cotoy doesn't play, you're screwed. Not Cotoy. I'm thinking of the wrong team. If Coxie doesn't play for Toronto, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because that's your number 1 receiver. Then on top of it, so you have Nathan Rourke, you have James Butler, then you have Keon Hatcher, Justin McInnes, Aiden Eberhardt, and Stanley Berryhill, and Javon Cotoy.
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know. And there's supposed to be 23,000 fans in Toronto this week.
Oh.
Because, I mean, if people want to go, even if you buy a cheap ticket for like $20, it's still cheaper to get a ticket and get into CNE for free than it is to buy a CNE ticket and then go to the Toronto game.
Maybe the Toronto Argonauts need to have the CNE every game.
I mean CNE is only the last full week, so it goes.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking that like the Toronto Argonauts doing something that helps them sell tickets is kind of unlike them.
It went from last Friday till Labor Day, so it's like the last 2 weeks of August.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, as soon as you get off the train, all you smell is horse manure. It's like, Jesus Christ. We're definitely out in the prairies, out in Saskatchewan.
Oh, my God. So, Rick, Lions or Argonauts? I think I have to go with the old Dutch
I'm,
Pick'ems, who are
I was just gonna say, I'm going with the
sweeping
clean sweep.
BC. As the Lions are sweeping the Argos in the old Dutch Pick'ems. Even what's her name? Uh, even Vicky Hall, who decided to be pretty bold with a lot of her predictions, was not hopping on the Argos train.
So the funny thing is, in Week 10, outside of the Ottawa-Toronto game, all East teams lost. Last week, again, all East teams lost. Can we get another week of all East teams losing? Hamilton would be very happy if all these teams lost.
Yeah, because Hamilton's on a fucking bye week.
And we can't lose.
Yeah, you can't lose when you don't play.
Exactly. We're still in first.
That was always
Even
the Edmonton Elks' favorite week, the week they didn't play football.
Even if we lost, like, even if Montreal lost, we're still in first.
That is true.
Anyways, you ready for the game of the week?
Yeah, this is probably going to be game of the week. Oh boy, it is. Can you hear that, Rick, or no? It is thundering like crazy in Winnipeg, and I just like my house wasn't shaking, but like it sounded like when you're in like the movie theater and they got the surround sound, and it's like the seats are shaking. That's like
Yeah.
got a big thunderstorm in Winnipeg.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the Watermelon Rough Riders.
Melon
Mario
heads.
Alford, wide receiver, hip, limited. Mario Anderson Jr., running back, illness, limited full. Sean Bain Jr., knee, full. Antoine Brooks Jr., DB, load management, full. Jack Cohen, quarterback, hand, full. Daniel Johnson, offensive lineman, shoulder, limited. Micah Johnson, D-line, load management, did not practice full. Nelson Lacombo, DB, hip, did not practice full. And then Nick Wiebe, D-line, knee, did not practice. On to the Stampeder side. Keep in mind, this is in Calgary, not in Mosaic.
Yep.
The Moose is on the loose because he has practice for 2 days straight after battling a hamstring injury.
And this was who,
So
sorry?
he could possibly...
And this was who, sorry?
Damien Alford. His nickname is Moose.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
So, Damien Alford, wide receiver, hamstring, full. Eno Benjamin, running back, load management, full. Yours truly, Adam Bighill, knee, full. Adrian Green, DB, lower leg, did not practice both days. Thomas Jack Curdella, offensive line, load management, full. Tevin Jones, wide receiver, illness, did not practice both days. Ben Labrosi, DB, hamstring, full. Josh Love, quarterback, load management, full. Tyler Richardson, DB, groin, did not practice. And then Dominic Rhymes, wide receiver, quad, did not practice both days.
So, I'm having a hard time with this, Rick. This, because obviously, so have they just played the one time this year so far? Or have they played twice?
Yes.
Because this was the one loss that the Riders do have was to Calgary, but this was also when Calgary was going on their heater. Not that they're not very good now; they are still very good, but it is toned down a little bit.
Yeah, so this was July 12th. Calgary won 24-10. Vernon Adams threw for 428 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Also, I'm assuming Reggie Bagleton is still out long term. We got nothing on him.
Yes, nothing on him. The only deciding factor I would say for this game is Rough Riders defense has been on a tear.
Yep.
Their defensive line. And if Sean Bain Jr. comes back and Dominic Rhymes does not play, those are the only two changing points. Because this is a game that Damian Alford went off for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then Joe Robicelli went off for 191 yards and 1 touchdown. So, what do you know? Brett Lothar went 1 for 3. Shocker. Oh, speaking of Brett Lothar,
I saw they signed a new kicker.
They did. Campbell Flair. He hasn't played a CFL game, but he was with the team back in 2013.
Oh my God, Rick!
Oh, sorry, not 2013, 2023.
Rick, I need to make a quick point about the Bomber game before we get back. Demario Houston! We forgot to talk about Demario Houston. Oh my God. If you, it's funny. I know we're gonna get a comment on someone who just watched the Bomber portion of the video and was like, "You didn't talk about Demario Houston," and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We talked about it later."
But the difference is, Demario Houston's not playing this week.
I know, because he's not on the Stampeders. He's on the Bombers.
No, but he's not even in your starting lineup.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, fair enough. If someone comments, that's what I'll say. Not that we forgot him, which we did.
But perfect time for him to come back for the Banjo Bowl and Labor Day, though.
Yes. Yeah. No, we could use him. But anyways, back to the game at hand. I didn't mean to get distracted.
I'm just trying to think. Let me look here, because I'm going between 2 different things. So, Sask plays Calgary, Winnipeg, Montreal, then a bye. Calgary plays Saskatchewan, Edmonton, bye, BC. So, if Calgary can beat Sask this week, I don't think they play each other again this year. No. So, I believe, and you can call me crazy, if Calgary wins this week, they will take the division.
Ooh.
Because I think that if they beat Sask, Calgary will have a better chance sweeping Edmonton than Sask sweeping Winnipeg.
Okay.
So, if Sask wins this week, I don't think they will sweep Winnipeg. If Calgary wins this week, they will most likely sweep Winnipeg. Which then, because right now, Calgary's 4 points back of Sask.
Yeah.
Calgary would have Saskatchewan, Edmonton, bye week, BC, Montreal, BC, Hamilton, Toronto, and Edmonton. Whereas Saskatchewan would have Calgary home and home with Winnipeg, Montreal, bye week, Edmonton, Ottawa, Toronto, Winnipeg, BC. So, I mean, Sask has the easier schedule, but not those last 2 games.
Yeah.
Whereas Calgary's last 3 games are all against the East. So, as you can tell, going with the pick'ems, it's 5-4 in favor of Sask. As you can see, you know who I'm going with. The question is, who are you going with?
I'm still not decided. Oh, this is difficult because my heart is screaming Calgary, but I'm having a harder time with my mind because I'm thinking the last time that these teams went against each other, I was one of 2 people that took Calgary and was right. And Calgary won. But I have to try to think the circumstances regarding the performance of the Riders and the circumstances regarding the performance of the Stampeders were in that situation to where I felt Calgary had a chance to win that game.
The only difference that I will say is the only way that Sask wins this is their defensive line with the sacks.
I'm not going to say the D-line. I'm going to say the defense as a whole. But my thing is that Saskatchewan went against Hamilton and won by 20 points. Calgary barely beat Winnipeg in a game where the Bombers really outplayed them for the first half of that game. And Saskatchewan then before that, they had a bye week that week. Calgary loses 31-11 to Ottawa. It's not good. But that's PJ Walker, so I'm not going to look into that too much. I'm not.
I was going to say, don't forget they're also getting Damian Alford back, too. And
that's true. But I look at even the way that the Riders humiliated the Alouettes. As much as a lot of people didn't have the Alouettes winning, I actually did have the Alouettes winning. What a fool I was. I don't think anyone had them getting bitch smacked the way they did. Like, this Stampeders team, as much as I hate to say it, is just they're on another level.
So, the interesting thing is if Calgary wins this week, they've swept Winnipeg and they've swept Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it hurts me to say this. I will be cheering for the Stampeders, but in the pick'ems, I think I'm going to be going with the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
You're going to be one of those that drink the green Kool-Aid and following.
I am not drinking the green Kool-Aid. The green Kool-Aid's getting thrown the fuck out. I don't like making this pick. I'm going to be rooting for Calgary. Sorry. I want Calgary to win this game. At the end of the day, as much as I make my pick'ems in here, I want what I want in the sense of I want what's best for the Bombers, and I like seeing Saskatchewan lose. I do. I am hoping for a Calgary win, but in the pick'ems, I'm going to be going with the Riders. So I think that's where I am. What?
You heard me.
I actually did not hear you.
I called you a bandwagon hopper.
Bandwagon hopper? Really?
Yes.
How am I hopping?
The Kool-Aid drinking bandwagon hopper.
There is no bandwagon hopper. A Bomber fan doesn't jump on anyone else's bandwagon. He jumps on his own, my friend. He jumps on his own. Trust me. I cheer for I cheer for the Bombers above everything. I do. I'm cheering for I'm cheering for Calgary. Ugh, I don't know why I said that. I'm cheering for Calgary to beat Saskatchewan. Ugh.
Before we sign off, just gonna put out a reminder to those folks. A week Friday is our walk. So
yes, we'll have to either get them on or we'll have to do even just a video about it.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I've been doing most of the appearances for the group, so I'm sure with all the information that I have.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll pull one of them on, though. We'll see.
Who knows?
We'll figure it out. Is there anything else to do?
Go Ticats!
Go Winnipeg Blue Bombers! Brady Oliveira needs a big week. There we go.
They also need to run Brady Oliveira this
Run,
week.
Brady Oliveira! Run!
Or just
right.
fire the offense.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys. People, again, as much as he's not perfect, if you fire Jason Hogan, do all of our problems magically disappear? No, they don't. That's what it is. Anyways, without further ado, make sure you guys like the video, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below your guys' predictions for this coming week. We are very curious to hear about them. And thank you to all of our listeners over on Spotify. Make sure you guys give us 5 stars if you have not already. And is there anything else you got, Rick, before I wrap this up?
Nope.
All right. Well, peace, love, and positivity, all you wonderful people at home. And we will see you guys next time.